Welcome back, people. We are going to go over the mythic items and the stat updates, and as much as we can do for the next 10 minutes. In this part of the rundown, we are going to take a closer look into the mythic items. The last video we were doing, we pretty much just went over the new item shop and the broad strokes of the patch. But I am looking forward to really looking into the details, because it's going to be really tough to see which items are going to be the most effective ones for your build path. And as a personal AD carry main, I can't wait to see if we are getting some love in this patch, and maybe we have some more survivability. But let's just dig into it and let's see what's going on. Mythic items. Mythic items are new highest item tier that will become the cornerstone of your build. With big effects that define your playstyle in each game, you only own one at a time. So selecting a mythic item and the effects it grants depends on your opponents and the game state. Your mythic also sets the tone for the rest of your build, both in terms of which your other items you will want to pick up, as well as a mythic passive that adds extra stats to your other fully completed items, now known as legendary items. Mythic items generally carry the most complex effects and strongly impact your playstyle. Even with the addition of new tier of items, our goal isn't to inflate the power level of items overall. Mythics make your first choice more powerful than in the past, but we're borrowing the strength from other item tiers to keep the build strength relatively similar on the whole. Like a leaf clover, mythic items are unique and you can only own one at a time. So that means it's very paramount that you take the right mythic item for your build and for the situation you're in. So you have to be much more aware of your win condition, your weaknesses as a player, and what mythic item that will help you the most in winning the game. So if you're playing as a AD carry, let's say you're playing Ashe against a Malphite, a LeBlanc mid, and some other burst AD carries such as Jhin, you don't have a lot of mobility, which means that probably Gale Force, that has a passive that gives you another dash for every 90 seconds, is going to be really impactful for you to be able to dodge huge skill shots and engage potential from the other team. So maybe that gives you some more survivability, since your flash is up on cooldown for every 5 minutes or so, which means maybe you're not going to have your flash in every team fight. So it's definitely going to be really good to have the right mythic item for you. Mythic passive. Each mythic item has a passive that grants your legendary items bonus stats. So that also means you have to identify what kind of strengths will be good for your team. So every mythic item is going to have a passive that grants some benefits for the rest of your team as well, for their mythic items. So that's really cool. Feels shiny and new. Mythic items icons are animated in the shop and HUD. So that's really cool. I noticed it. I tried. I just went into the practice tool for 2 minutes, and I saw they were animated in the shop. So that gave a little bit of flair that I didn't expect, and was actually pretty cool. So the first mythic items that we're gonna go over is an AD carry item, or a marksman item. It's called Gale Force. Gale Force give marksman champions a way to dodge high impact skill shots, aggressively finishing off low health targets. Base stats: total cost 3,400 gold. Build path: Noon Quiver. I don't know that one yet, but I guess we'll see in the future. Cloak of Agility, Pickaxe, and 625 gold. It gives 55 attack damage, 20% attack speed, and 20% critical strike chance. The effect is Cloudburst. It's an active, so it's an active passive, or not passive. It's it's an active. Dash in target direction, firing 3 missiles at the lowest health enemy near your destination, prioritizing champions. Deals a total of 180 to 315 level scaling level damage, plus 45% bonus AD, and that will be converted into magic damage, increased against low health targets for up to 50%. And it's on a 90-second cooldown. So, as I was talking about before, you will have the ability to dash a short distance every 90 seconds. So it's going to be really useful for those immobile AD carries. But since it is a dash, it is important for you marksmen out there that you don't make the mistake of trying to use it over walls. I tried it out in the practice tool, so you can't use it over walls. So if you're trying to escape, you can only do it in a line that isn't obstructed. Mythic grants all other legendary items 3% movement speed, which is really neat for your other champions, your other teammates as well. That could be a squishy mage in the mid lane or a tank that wants a little bit more movement speed to get into the team fight. The next item is the Kraken Slayer. It's an anti-tank item. Kraken Slayer allows a free-firing marksman to cut even the beefiest of enemies down to size. Total cost is 3,400 gold. The build path is Noon Quiver, Cloak of Agility, Pickaxe, and 625 gold. So it's actually the same build path as Gale Force. So the cost is the same. I'm wondering, do all of the mythic items cost the same? They don't, but okay, so it depends on the class. So we have 3 mythic items for the marksman here, and they're all 3,400 cost, and they don't build the exact same. But for now, Kraken Slayer and Gale Force is building has the same build path. I'm not entirely sure what Noon Quiver does, or what the cost of Noon Quiver is, but for now it's a fairly mid-range cost to build. So Cloak of Agility has been nerfed to 600 gold as far as I can recall. Pickaxe is still 875, and it depends on Noon Quiver. I'm not going to do the math here, but it's going to be, you're going to have at least 800 or 900 gold when you base to buy a component of these mythic items. So it's going to be doable. Especially if let's say we want to rush Gale Force as Ashe, you do have those fairly quick backs where you can go for a 900 gold back after the 5th wave or so, 9th wave or so, depending on if you're getting a good CS and a kill. So it's going to be fairly easy to actually build these items, so that's cool. Again, this one gives more attack damage, so you actually get more stats from Kraken Slayer than you get from Gale Force, because it gives 25. Okay, so the Kraken Slayer gives you more attack damage. It gives you 5 more attack damage than Gale Force, but it gives you 25% attack speed, so you want to put out more DPS here instead of getting the survivability of the Gale Force, and you get 20% critical strike chance as well. Effects of Kraken Slayer. Bring it down. Every 3rd basic attack deals an additional 60 plus 30% bonus AD true damage. So that could become quite a lot. Say you have 250 attack damage. That'll be around 80 extra damage. So that's maybe around 150, 160, 140 true damage that you will give on every 3rd basic attack. So that's a passive. That's not an active you want to click down. So you're really going to shred the tanks in front of you. And other than that, the mythic passive of Kraken Slayer is that it grants all other legendary items 10% attack speed. So that's really, really cool if you need that extra attack speed for your teammates. Maybe you have a Seer in the mid lane or a Twisted Fate. So yeah, a thing to consider. Immortal Shield Bow. Immortal Shield Bow helps, and that's a survive burst item for the for the marksman, which is something in the ballpark of Phantom Dancer. Immortal Shield Bow helps marksman champions survive burst damage and fight their way back from the brink. Base stats 3,400 gold. Almost the same build path, but instead of the pickaxe, you build the Vampiric Scepter and give 600 gold instead. You gain 50 attack damage, 15% attack speed, and 20% critical strike, but here you get some lifesteal instead. The effect is Lifeline. When taking damage that will reduce you below 30%, you gain a 250 to 700 shield for 3 seconds, scaling on levels additionally, you gain 15% lifesteal for 8 seconds. Damn. Okay, 700 shield. That's really big. That's a really, really big shield to get in the late game. So that's going to be really anti-assassin item. That's good for the AD carries. Maybe you get some more survivability against the Ringars and Sets of the world. So that's really nice. And also you get 15% lifesteal, meaning you probably get 27% lifesteal in total once you get the lifeline passive. And that's for 8 seconds. And it has a 90-second cooldown. Mythic Passive grants all other legendary items 5 attack damage and 50 health. So a little bit of extra stats for your teammates, which is nice. Next, we're going for Sunfire Aegis, rampaging damage. Sunfire Aegis turns into dangerous threats for enemies who take extended fights. Base stats, 3200 gold. So we have a legendary item here that is 200 gold cheaper than the marksman items. Build path, Balmy Cinder, Aegis of Legion, and 700 gold. You get 450 health, 30 armor, 30 magic resist, and 15 ability haste. And that's the thing you have to a thing you have to take notice of now, that instead of having cooldown reduction now, which was percentage based or were not linear, it was exponential. So before, if you had 50% cooldown, meant that 50% of the timer of your cooldown would be reduced. So if you had a 120 second spell and you had 50% cooldown, you would get it to 60%. So effectively meaning you could cast 100% more spells. So instead of this, you will have a linear curve for the ability haste. So instead of 20% cooldown reduction would be that would be 40% more spells cast. Instead, now ability haste, if you get 15 ability haste, you will just be able to cast 15% more spells. So that's nice. So meaning if you had a 100 second cooldown spell, you will get 15 seconds of that spell when having 15 ability haste. It's a little bit chunky, I'm not entirely sure if it's a clear way of saying it, but that's the way it scales now. It's linear instead of exponential. The effects. Immolate. Deals 240 on scaling on levels 1 to 18, plus 1% bonus health magic damage per second to nearby enemies, increasing by 50% against minions and 200% against monsters. Damaging champions or epic monsters with this effect adds a stack, increasing subsequent immolation damage by 12% for 15 seconds, max 6 stacks. So that's actually pretty cool. So this looks like it's going to be a jungle item for your more tanky junglers such as Sejuani and Zac and those champions that want the extra AoE damage to your champion. So you get even more. You get 200% against monsters. So that's 40 to 80 damage plus 1 bonus health magic damage per second to all your neutral camps. And that's going to be even more stacking up against epic monsters such as Dragon and Rift Herald and Baron. So that's really cool. Flame Touch. At maximum immolate stacks, your basic attacks burn every enemies for your immolate damage per second for 3 seconds. Damn, okay. And then you get 5 ability haste for all your other teammates that has mythic items. Really cool item for tanks, obviously, and especially very effective in the jungle. Frostfire Gauntlet. Slow enemies. Frostfire Gauntlet can turn any tank into an inescapable behemoth. 320 gold cost. Balmy Cinder, Non-Magic Mantle, Chain Vest, and 950 gold. 50 gold. Health increased by 350. Armor 50 is increased by 50. Magic Resist 25, and you get 15 ability haste. Immolate 240 to 240 now. 20 to 40 scaling on levels, plus 1 bonus health, 1% bonus health, magic damage per second to nearby enemies, increasing by 50% against minions and 200% against monsters. So that is almost the same as the Sunfire Aegis, instead of, or with the exception that it doesn't do more damage to the epic monsters, and it doesn't stack up in that way. But instead, it has Snowbind, which means that basic attacks create a slow zone for 1.5 seconds on a 4-second cooldown. Enemies that move across the zone are slowed by 30%, plus 4% per 100 max health. Okay, so you can 1,000 max health. So if you're a 3,000 health tank, you can actually get 42% slow in these Snowbind zones. And yeah, it's pretty much Frostfire Gauntlet from the last patch. I don't know if that one was removed, but that's definitely what it looks like. And again, it gains 100 health and increases your champion's model by 7.5% for all your other teammates. No, sorry. It gives 100 health to all your teammates, and your own champion, becomes 7.5% bigger. Turbo Chem Tank Initiation. Okay, so this is an engaged tool. For all the tanks who love starting fights, Turbo Chem Tank allows them to lead the charge into battle. It costs 3,200 gold. It consists of Balmy Center, cloth armor, Negatron cloak, and an extra 1,000 gold. It gives you 350 health, 25 armor, 50 magic resistance, 50 ability haste. It has the emulate passive of the other tank items, and it is supercharged. Grants 75% movement speed towards enemy champions or turrets. Okay, for 4 seconds. Once near an enemy or after 4 seconds, a shockwave is emitted and slows the nearby champion by 40% for 2 seconds. So this is the... I don't remember the item, but we had this passive before. So this is not completely new from previous item. I don't remember what it was, but we had that ability. Grants all other legendary items 5% tenacity and slow resist. That's really, really good against a team with a lot of CC. So you give your entire team a lot more survivability against a team fully built out of CC. So that's nice. Next up is Duskblade of Drakthar. With Duskblade, assassins can keep their enemies guessing while wreaking invisible havoc in teamfights. It costs 3,200 gold. It is built out of Serrated Dirk, Caulfield's Warhammer, and 1,000 gold. So not very much different from the last time, only 300 gold more expensive. It gives 55 attack damage, 18 lethality, and 20 ability haste. Night Stalker. Attacking a champion deals additional 100 plus 30% bonus 80 physical damage and slows them by 99% for 2.5 seconds. So that's effectively a 0.25 second snare. And when a champion that you have damaged within the last 3 seconds dies, the cooldown is refreshed and you become invisible for 1.5 seconds. Damn. So you'll actually, for a champion such as Zed and Rengar and Akali, you can become like invisible all the time because of resets. But it does mean that the champion you have been bursting has to die within the last 3 seconds. But I see some. I'm looking out for those montages of Zeds and yeah, they'll just be, cleaning up a fight and just will be invisible for the entire fight. That's going to be really, really disgusting, but looks cool. Gives 5 ability haste to all your other champions. Next up is Eclipse. Eclipse helps assassin weave in and out of fights and take down tankier opponents in drawn-out encounters. 3,200 gold cost, Serrated Dirk, Vampiric Scepter, Longsword, and 850 gold. So very, very affordable item to build. One Longsword, 350. Vampiric Scepter made out of Longsword as well, and Serrated Dirk as well. So very, very affordable item. very easily built on as the first item as well. Attack damage 55, lethality 18, and Omnivamp 10%. I'm not entirely sure what Omnivamp is. Guess we'll see in the future. Ever Rising Moon. Hitting a champion with 2 separate basic attacks or abilities within 1.5 seconds deals an additional 8% max health, physical damage, grants you 30% movement speed at 150 plus 40% bonus AD for melee champions, or 100 for plus 30% bonus AD for ranged champions. Okay, so you get... Okay, so this is better on melee champions than it is on ranged champions. Shield for 2 seconds, 6-second cooldown for melee champions, and 12-second cooldown for ranged champions. Okay, so it's 2 separate attacks. And or abilities within 1.5 seconds deals an additional 8 max health physical damage and gives you movement speed. So you will get a shield, you will do extra percentage health damage, and you will get movement speed. So you will be able to weave in and out as it said before, but it's going to be very, very doable here because it's only attacks or abilities, and I believe that you can combine those two. So you just have to hit with an attack and an attack and an ability. And I as a previous Akali main, I do see this Eclipse tool as a possible viable build path for her, even though it's AD and they've made her more AP oriented. I think this is very, very useful for her, but we'll see. Prowlers wow, I'm stumbling over my tongue here. Prowlers Claw lets assassin get up close and personal with their prey, amplifying the damage for one fatal combo. Base stats 3,200 gold. It is made of a serrated dirt, Caulfield's hammer, and 1,000 gold. Attack damage 55, ability or lethality 21, and ability haste 10. Sandswipe active. Oh, I actually didn't say that Eclipse gave 4% armor penetration, so that's nice for all your teammates. So if you are a AD assassin and your team is up against a full AD comp, this is going to be a really, really good item. Dash through target enemy, dealing 100 plus 30% bonus AD physical damage for for the next 3 seconds. You deal 15% increased damage to the target. Okay, so you dash through your target, which means that it is easier for you to engage them. So maybe if you're out of a dash, if you just spend it as an assassin, you have another one here to use, and you also do. It's probably going to be your primary engage, because you deal 15% increased damage to the target over the next 3 seconds. So you definitely want to be using that as your first ability, so you can use your primary your champion abilities to do the damage to take out the champion to take out your prey. And the Mythic Passive is it grants all other legendary items 5 lethality. Okay, Liandry's Anguish. Anti-tank. Liandry's Anguish allows mages to burn through health and resistances and excel in longer fights. Base stats, total cost 3,400 gold, build path, lost chapter, fiendish codex, and 1,200 gold. It gives you 80 ability power, 600 mana, and a 20 ability haste. Torment. Dealing damage with abilities causes enemies to burn for 15 plus 2.5% AP plus 1% max health magic damage per second for 4 seconds. Gain 5% magic penetration per second against burning targets, up to 25%. Damn, so you get a lot of magic penetration after 5 seconds of combat. 25% magic penetrations after 5 seconds in combat with this Torment passive. That's really cool. Could be really effective for champions that are still using it. Scaling mages are going to use this a lot, I believe. These are champions such as Rise and Cassiopeia. They're going to love to build this item. It gives you 5 ability haste to the rest of your team, so that's cool. Luden's Tempest. Luden's Tempest offers mages upfront burst power and speed to reposition for another round. Base stats is 3,400 gold, so one of the more expensive ones, where the tank mythic items were 3,200 gold. Build path, Lost Chapter, Blasting Wand, 1,250 gold. Ability power, 80. Magic penetration, 10. 600 mana and 10 ability haste. Effects. Echo. Damaging abilities deal an additional 100 plus 15% AP magic damage to the target and 3 nearby enemies and grant you 30% movement speed for 2 seconds. Okay, so it gives you movement speed now. Luden's Echo didn't do that before, so that's really nice. It's a little bit of upgraded Luden's Tempest. Or a little bit upgraded Luden's Echo, and it gives you that movement speed you might need as a burst mage. So maybe if you're like Sendra, she's very, very immobile, it'll be nice to have those 30% extra movement speed for those 2 seconds. And it's only on a 10-second cooldown, so it's going to be useful in extended team fights. You could use it more than once in extended team fights, so that's nice. Gives you 5% or 5 magic penetration to the entire team, so that's nice against combos that build a lot of magic resist. Next up is Everfrost. With Everfrost, mages can control the battlefield and lock down their opponents in ice. This is especially useful for disengaging. Total cost is 3,400, made out of a Lost Chapter, Blasting Wand, and 1,250 gold. Ability power is 80, it gives you 200 health, 600 mana, and 10 ability haste. The effect of the item is Glacial, and it's an active. Deal 100 plus 30% AP magic damage in a cone, slowing enemies 65% for 1.5 seconds. Enemies at the center of the cone are rooted instead. Okay. And it's only a 20-second cooldown? That's pretty cool. So you could effectively do like 200 to 300 damage with this cone, slowing them for 65%, and rooting them for 1.5 seconds, and it's only a 20-second cooldown. So that's going to be really, really useful. This is the Hextech GLP active that we saw from the last patch. But this one is much more usable and yeah, really cool. Very affordable as well. Okay, it's not as affordable. Lost Chapter is 2 amplifying tomes and a mana crystal, plus the 850 blasting wand and plus 1,250 gold. So it's a little bit less affordable, but very, very useful for champions that have hard and crucial skill shots to hit. So a build that we saw previously that was very trending on Silas was maxing your Q, but you would use the Hextech GLP active to slow the targets down, so it was easier to hit the Q. So definitely a really cool item to build. And it gives you 80 ability power as well, so it gives you a lot of burst. Hextech's, sorry about that. Hextech's Rocket Belt. Mobility. Rocket Belts gives short-range mages a way to blast onto the scene to get in range to destroy enemy champions. Okay, 3,200 gold cost. It is built out of Hextech's Alternator. Haven't seen that one yet, but probably something like the Gunblade thing. Ruby Crystal, Blasting Wand, and 900 gold. So a lot more affordable than the previous mage mythic item. It gives 80 ability power, 250 health, and ability haste, 15. So what we're seeing here is a lot more survivability for the mages. So that's pretty cool with the health and the ability. With health on every item. Supersonic active. Dash in a target direction, unleashing an arc of magic missiles that deal 250 to 300 scaling on levels 1 to 18 plus 15% AP magic damage, then gain 75% movement speed, goddamn, towards enemy champions for 2 seconds. So very, very good for engaging. It is not like the Hextech Proto build that we saw in the previous patch or in the previous iteration. This gives movement speed as well, so very, very cool. Only on a 40-second cooldown, so yeah, very, very good item. Nice. I like that. Mythic grants all legendary items 5 magic penetration. Okay, so common. The only one that didn't do that was Everfrost. Okay, so we have some ability haste here, 2 magic penetration mythic items, and the last one is 15 ability power. Okay. Next up is Riftmaker, Omnivamp. Mages and tankier magic damage dealers can dominate fights that go along with ramping damage and healing. 3200 gold, Leeching Leer, Blasting 1 and 1050 gold to make it. 80 ability power, 150 health, 15 ability haste, and 50% Omnivamp. So I guess I said I didn't know what Omnivamp was before, but I suspect it is the previous spell vamp, which just means that you get 15% of the damage you're dealing with your spells back as health. I believe that's what it is. I'm not entirely sure, but it sounds a lot like it. Void Corruption. For each second in combat, champion combat, dealing 3% bonus damage, max 15%. At maximum strength, the bonus damage is dealt as true damage instead. Okay, that's good. So you do 15% extra bonus damage as true damage after 5 seconds. That's cool. That's really good. Very good sustain for champions such as I see this item being built on Galio for sure. For sure. If he is meta, he will be building that in the mid lane. That could be also AP Malphite in the mid lane as well. I don't know. Definitely good item for the bruiser AP dealers. So if you want to build a more tanky version of Lily in the jungle, probably also very good. Effects Void Corruption. For each second... Sorry. And Mythic grants all legendary items 5% magic penetration. So far we have 3 items that give magic penetrations to the entire team. That's cool. Night Harvester. Night Harvester is a great tool for magic damage dealing assassins and bruisers who want to work their way through the entire enemy team, rather than taking out one target and then bouncing out of the fight. Base stats. 3200 gold. It is built out of Hextech, Alternator, Ruby Crystal, Blasting 1, and 900 gold. It gives 80 ability power, 250 health, and 15 ability haste. Effects. Soul Rend. Damaging a champion deals an additional 175 to 250, scaling on levels 1 to 18, plus 15 AP magic damage, and grants you 25% magic movement speed for 1.5 seconds. It is on 60-second cooldown per enemy. Okay, so if you kill 2 enemies, does that mean that... Does that stack up? I'm not entirely sure how that works. So does that mean this can get on a 300-second cooldown? I don't know. Next up, the Mythic passive is that it grants all legendary items 5 ability haste. Okay. Oh, next up is a good old friend. Trinity Force allows fighters to take over long fights with rampaging attack damage and repeated bursts of Spellblade procs. Base stats. Total cost 3,333 gold. It is made out of Sheen, Hearthbound Axe, Kindle Gem, and 733 gold. It gives 200 health, 35 attack damage, 35% attack speed, and 10 ability haste. The effect is Threefold Strike. Basic attacks grant 25 movement speed for 3 seconds. If the target is a champion, increase your base attack damage by 6%, stacking up to 5 times. So you get 30% extra base attack damage. And also, you get a 25% movement speed every time you hit minions, apparently. Because its basic attacks grant 25% movement speed. And it doesn't... it specifies that if you're hitting a champion, you get an additional effect. So you get a lot of movement speed for this. Spellblade, after using an ability, your next basic attack is enhanced by additional 200% base attack damage for 1.5 second cooldown. So you still have the Sheen passive. It grants all other legendary items 10% attack speed. Gord Drinker. The fighters can come back from brink of death with well-timed thirsting slash heal and increase attack damage while injured. It is 3,300 gold, Iron Spike Whip, Phage, Kill Gem, and 200 gold that builds it. Gives you 400 gold. Gives you 400 Wow, I'm really tripping over my tongue right here. Sorry about that. It gives you 400 health, 45 attack damage, 150% health regeneration, and 20 ability haste. Thirsting Slash deals 110% of your attack damage to nearby enemies, restoring health equal to 20% of your attack damage plus 12% of your missing health for each champion hit. 15% cooldown, affected by ability haste. So it is effectively a Darius Q, as far as I can see, slashes around you, and also gives you health back. Pretty cool. Aggression, 1% attack damage for each 5% of your missing health. So it gives you even more AD the lower you go. So that's pretty cool. So you definitely want to go deep with this item in team fights. Mythic grants all legendary items 5 ability haste. So I see this item being really good on champions like Tryndamere and Olaf and those champions that are the stronger the lower they are in health. So very cool item. Stridebreaker. There's no escaping a fighter wielding Strikebreaker. It's 3,300 gold like the others. Iron Spike Whip, Hearthbound Axe, Kindle Gem, and 200 gold to build it. 300 health. Attack damage 50. You get 20 attack speed and 10 ability haste. The effect is called Halting Slash. It's an active and lunge at a short distance. Deal 110% of your attack damage to nearby enemies, slowing them by 60%, decaying over 2 seconds. 20-second cooldown, affected by ability haste. So you get a dash. You get a dash every 20 seconds, going down to 10 seconds. I don't know if there's a cap on ability haste, but saying you have 100 ability haste, you can have a dash every 10 seconds. That's insane. And slowing your enemies for 60% is really good. Really good. Very much looking forward to this item. Cool. Divine Sunderer. Your health, my health. This item allows fighters to steal chunks of their opponent's health with Spellblade and chew through tankier targets. Same cost as the others. It's built out of Phage, Sheen, Kindle Gem, and 700 gold. You get 400 health, 40 attack damage, and 20 ability haste. Spellblade. After using an ability, your next basic attack is enhanced with 10% target max health, physical damage, 1.5 second cooldown. If the target is a champion, restore 50% of the damage amount. 30% for ranged users. So a more effective item on melee users, but definitely still really, really cool for ranged users if that is usable for them. So after using an ability, your next basic attack is enhanced. So that's nice. You get a lot of oomph and you restore the damage. 50% of the damage amount. That's insane. Grants all other items 5% armor penetration and magic penetration. So a hybrid penetration passive for the rest of your team. Very cool. Shirelia's Battle Song. So a updated item. Shirelia's lets support players orchestrate flawless quintets by boosting allies' movement and damage in the start of the fights. It's a cheap item. It's 2,700 gold to make up for the passive income of the support, of course. It's made out of Kindle Gem, Fairy Charm, Winged Moonblade, and 850 gold. It gives you 350 health, 20 ability haste, 5% movement speed, and 50% extra mana regen. Inspire active. Grants you and nearby allies 40% movement speed for 4 seconds and an additional 40 to 60 magic damage on the next 3 basic attacks and ability hits against champions. It's on a 90-second cooldown and it scales on ally levels. Oh, ally levels. So not even on yourself. So if you have a teammate in level 18 and you're in level 14, you still get the maximum additional magic damage on your next 3 basic attacks. Really cool. Grants all other legendary items 2.5% movement speed. Locket of the Iron Solari. Help your team withstand the enemy offensive with team-wide protection. Total cost 2,700 gold. Build path Kindle Gem, Aegis of the Legion 40 gold. Health 40 gold, 400 gold to build it as well. 200 health, 20 ability power, ability haste, armor 30, and magic resist 30. Effects. Devotion active. Grants nearby allies a 250 to 420 shield decaying over 2.5 seconds. It's a 90-second cooldown and it scales on ally levels. Consecrate. Nearby allied champions grants nearby allied champions 5 armor and magic resist. And it also grants legendary items a 2 armor and magic resist increase to Consecrate. So you effectively get 7 armor and magic resist when you're close to a person with Locket of Iron Solari. Very cool. So you can get a 420 HP shield to your teammates and a lot of resistances. Moonstone Manure. Healing over time. Dish out constant heals that ramps up over the fight. Okay, cool. 2,700 gold cost. Kindle Gem, Bandle Glass, Mirror, and 850 gold as a build path. It gives you 40 ability power, 20 health, 20 ability haste, not hate, and 100% mana regen. The effects is Starlit Grace. When affecting champions with basic attacks or abilities in combat, restore 30 to 60 health to the most wounded ally. 2-second cooldown. Each second spent in combat with champions increases this healing effect by 37.5 maximum. 35%. Maximum is 150%. So you can heal up to half of it plus 90. So that's up to 150 health to the most wounded ally every 2 seconds. Very cool. Very cool. Gives 5 ability haste to everybody else. And the last one is Imperial Mandate. Use your CC to call these shots as you mark enemies to be cut down by your team. Base stats. Total cost is 2,700 gold. The build path is Kindle Gem, Bandle Glass Mirror, and 850 gold. Ability power 40. Health 200. Ability haste 20. And mana regen 100%. Effects. Mark of Enmity. Abilities that slow or mobilize a champion deal 60 to 100 bonus magic damage and mark them for 4 seconds. Allied champion damage designates the mark, dealing an additional 600 to 100 magic damage and granting you both 20% movement speed for 2 seconds on a 6-second cooldown per enemy. Mythic grants all other legendary items 15 ability power. So you have a lot of slow here, making it much easier for the engaged supports to put down some of that very healthy CC to dominate the fights. So I see this very useful on champions such as Rakan and Leona and maybe Thresh and Nautilus and those the hooking champions. But very cool item, and it gives you 15 ability power to the rest of your team. So very cool. So this has been the Mythic item review of the patch note 1023. We will do the rest of the patch note later on, but we're up on 45 minutes now for just the Mythic items alone. So we're going to release them in more parts. But thank you for watching. If you liked watching the video, please consider leaving a subscribe and comment down below, and please tell me what you think about the items or what I should cover in the future. But thank you, and see you around.